enable the recording. Yeah, I see here some engineers from EPAM. I think I sent you an invitation by mistake. I just had a list of emails registered in AutoCode. I don't think that this light talk will be interesting for you. So if you have other things to do, feel free to disconnect. Okay, let me first introduce myself. My name is Danila. I'm a senior software engineer in EPAM, and I work in this company for 3.5 years. For the last 2 years, I've been actively contributing to EPAM Java School. I started with mentoring, and a year ago in 2021, I coordinated a whole mentoring stage in Lithuanian EPAM Java School. And now I'm a driver of the Light Talks initiative. So if you have any comments, propositions, feel free to ping me in Slack or via email directly. Yeah, a few words about the initiative as whole. I will repeat what I wrote in the email. So we are starting our light talks. These are small lectures by the engineers from production. All lectures are supposed to be from, I think, 40 to 60 minutes. Maybe a few of them will be longer, but I don't think so. Lectures will be held every week, and we will have a bunch of different speakers. So each speaker has his own availability windows, so day and time may vary depending on the speaker. The topic will be sent to you every week, and for now, I think for 2 more light talks, I will send to you invitation via email too, and then we will stop just with Slack. So if you didn't join our Slack namespace, please do it. You will see all invitations there. Also, we will make recordings if you don't have time to join live event. It's totally okay. You can watch it later. Yeah, and link to the recording will be shared via Slack too. We have a dedicated Light Talks channel there. So the topic of today's Light Talk is using Intellij Idea efficiently. It's like a starting level Light Talk to make you more comfortable with this initiative. The first question that we have to ask is why should we know some features of some program, of some IDE? And the answer is known features allows you to write better code and do it much faster. Intellij Idea is a really great tool. It has lots of features, and we just cannot explore all of them today. So I selected some features that personally I use frequently during my work. All these features are present in Community Edition. As you may know, Intellij Idea has 2 editions. It's a free Community Edition, and I think it's called Enterprise Edition. It's paid. Yeah, features that I will describe to you today are all in Community Edition, and Community Edition, in my opinion, is enough to work. I personally, I use Community Edition. I didn't buy Enterprise at all. So let's probably start with some basic operations with the IDE. So you have a simple project. By now, I hope all of you can understand what it makes. So it just prints hello world to the console. To run this application, we can press any of these 2 green arrows, and then we can select run our method. So that starts compiling. Our classes are compiled, assembled, and then they run. And as a result, we can see the result of our program, just a message, hello world. Okay. Then, after we run a program using this green arrow, we get this configuration on top. So here I have my main class, and I can run it with another green arrow. So it's just faster if you have many files in your application. You don't have to navigate back to your main class. You can just press run on the top. And here I have hello world too. Here you can open a menu, for example, press edit configurations, and here you have a bunch of configurations that you can change for your task. So you can change the name. I don't really use it. You can change the version of Java. So right now I use Java 11. You can change the name of class that runs, working directory, and here you have a bunch of other options too. Probably you don't need them now, but if you need, you now know where to find them. Also, you can create other run configurations. There are as always, a bunch of options here. So, for example, I don't know what is BSP. I haven't used this tool, but I can create a task to run on the project. I don't know what it means, but yeah, here I can create this task and I can run it instead of my main, and I can switch back and forth. And to delete a runnable configuration, just click minus here and it gets deleted. Okay. When you open a project, to the left you can see all the project files. And to the right there is your working area where you can change the code. Basically you write your code. If this window is too small for you, you can hide the project with this button, and well, you get a wider window to code. To get it back, you can press project and you get all your files back. Here in this window, you see all files from your project. You can see all your classes. They're marked with letter C, all the folders, and some folders are marked with another color. So what do these colors mean? And what are these folders? You will study later. I think it's stage 2 build tools. So I use Gradle as a build tool, and Gradle requires some folders to run. So here I have to have source main Java folders. So and here Java is marked as a folder of Gradle. Okay, one more useful button here is structure. It opens a structure of your current class, and you can see all the methods and fields of your current class. So here I have only one main method, so it's just displayed here. And sometimes you have, I don't know, 30, 40 methods. It's good that you can see all of them in one place. To the right, you have a Gradle sub window. I don't know how to call it. So what is Gradle? Just in a few words, Gradle is a build tool. So I write code in Java and then I have to compile it. I have to run it. I can do it through the terminal, write some Java commands, but it's just too complicated. So we use Gradle to build our application. There are other options, but well, probably Gradle is the best one nowadays. And Gradle has tasks that you can call using this window. So, for example, I can call a task clean. It will simply delete all my previous builds. So my next build will recompile from the start. I can call task build. executed it, and I got a build folder with my compiled classes. So you don't have to type all the commands in the terminal, you can click them here. And again, after you run this task, it appears on top. So for example, I can here switch to clean, run it, switch back to main, run it again, and so on and so forth. Okay, and probably the last sub-window that I'd like to show you is a terminal. Maybe some of you are already familiar with Bash terminal or PowerShell. This terminal, it's a fully functional terminal. You can execute any Windows commands here. So for example, I can use a command dir. It's a command that shows all the files in my current directory. So I press enter and I see that I have a folder source, folder Gradle, and some bunch of other files. Well, it doesn't really matter. And also here I can, for example, use Gradle commands. If I don't want to click them here in a window, I can type them in a terminal. For example, Gradle clean. And build was successful. Okay, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to raise a hand or just unmute and ask. If you don't, I will go forward. Okay, let's think that you don't have questions. Next, let's talk a bit about hotkeys that we have. Intellij Idea is built around hotkeys. Everything that you may want to do, you can do without a mouse, just by the hotkeys. We'll see, I think, 15 or 20 of them, the most popular, the most useful for coding. The first one is Alt-Enter. It's a hotkey that calls context menu. So here I have a declaration of a variable a, of integer a, and it's equal to 1 plus 2. So basically it's 3, and it's not even used later. So here, Intellij Idea suggests me to replace 1 plus 2 with the constant value 3. I can agree and press enter again. And here, Idea changed my code. If you call context menu on other places of code, you will get another type of context menu. So on methods, for example, I can delete this method, change access modifier, add documentation, etc. Basically, you can do anything. Okay, and if I call it on a variable, I can delete it. I can split it into declaration and assignment. I don't see the need to do so, but okay, well, you can do so. The next hotkey is Control W. It allows you to select valid expressions in increasing section. Yeah, I copied it from the official documentation. In fact, it's much easier than it sounds. So you place your cursor anywhere, and then you press Control W. Then you press it again and again and again, and it selects bigger and bigger expression. So here I selected the whole line. If I, for example, would like to select my if statement, I can place my cursor here. Yeah, and then I can just press Control W several times. Yeah, and I select the whole if. This hotkey is super efficient if you have multiple nested calls. So this code is in fact useless. It takes a module of variable a, so it's mathematical expression, and you take it several times. It doesn't do anything useful. I just want to show you that, for example, if I would like to select this method call, I have to select, I have to count all the brackets. So here I open 1 bracket, open 2 brackets. Alexander, do you have a question? If no, could you please mute yourself? There is some sound in the background. Okay. Yeah, I have to call all the opening and closing parentheses. And instead of it, I can press just Control W 2 times, and it selects 4 opening and 4 closing brackets. So it's super useful. Next, hotkeys are super easy. I think you know all of them. You can copy text with Control C, insert it with Control V. But in Intellij Idea, if you don't select the text to copy it, and you just place a cursor and press Control C, it copies the whole line. It's very useful too. With Control X, you can cut the line and later insert it multiple times. If you want to delete the line without copying it to your clipboard, you can press Control Y. Or if you want to duplicate your line, you can press Control D. So it's instead of Control C plus Control V. And one super useful feature of Intellij Idea is Control Shift V. When you copy some lines, they get to the clipboard history. So here you can have up to 100 lines of copied code or text. Yeah, so you can copy 2 different lines of code, and then here select which of them you would like to insert. So you can insert not only the last one. Okay, the next hotkey is Shift F6. It allows you to rename basically everything. You can rename variables. So here I have a variable some class, and I call a method on it. If I don't like the name, I can press Shift F6 and give it another name. Yeah. It gets renamed in all places where it's used. So here I have only 2 uses of this variable, declaration and then one call. It's not much. But in real projects, you can have one variable used in many files, for example, 10 or 30 files. And instead of opening all of them, you can just rename variable. Then you can rename your classes, some class, let it be some another class. Yeah, it gets renamed in all files too. And you can rename methods, I don't know, method 2. It gets renamed too. Then we have Control Slash. Control Slash is a hotkey to create comments. If you don't select any lines of code and you just press Control Slash, it comments your current line of code. If you press on this line, this hotkey again, it removes the comment. And if you select several lines of code and press Control Slash, it comments out all the code that you selected. Okay. Next, we have several hotkeys for searching and replacing text. Hotkey that can be found, I guess, everywhere is Control F. It's a hotkey to find text in your current file. So here I can type rare text, and yeah, I can find my text from my file. But also Intellij Idea allows you to use several flags with this search. So by default, this search is case insensitive. So here I have text in lowercase and I search for text in uppercase. And by default, Intellij Idea thinks that it's a match. But in some cases, you don't need it. You would like to search case sensitively. So here you can press match case flag, and here I have 0 results. So this rare text is no longer matched because text is uppercase and here text is lowercase. Also, you can search for words, so this will be exact words to match. So here I have a word rare and it matches word rare from my file. And if I remove E, select words flag, it doesn't match anymore because I don't have a word rar. Here I have word rare. This third flag allows you to search using regular expressions. This flag is much more advanced. If you know what regular expressions are, you can use them, and if you don't, I think you will study them a bit later. In Intellij Idea, you can search in all files of your project. To do it, press Ctrl-Shift-F. Yeah, so here I have my rare text. It's only in one of my files. And for example, if I search for system out println, I can find it in a bunch of files. Also, you can here search for some code in all libraries that you use. So, for example, I can search for system out println in the default Java library or any other type of code. This search supports same types of flags, so case-sensitive search, word search, regular expression search, but it just searches in the whole project. Then you can replace some text. So here, for example, I have rare text. I can match it again using the same flags, and I would like to replace it with another text. Then I press press replace button and text gets replaced. It's not probably that useful in this case, but if you have a line that is repeated 10 times in your file and you need to replace it, this feature is much faster than replacing it by hand. And Ctrl-Shift-R can be used to replace the text in all files of your project, so it works exactly the same way. Okay. Next, we have a very useful hotkey. It's a double shift. Press shift and shift again. When you use this hotkey, so a new window opens, and here you can search for anything in Intellij Idea. So, for example, I can search for my classes of my project. So here I have a main class of my project, and yeah, I can open it. Also, here you can search for some Intellij Idea features. So, for example, Intellij Idea supports plugins. I can type plugins and open settings menu for plugins. So if you don't know where to search for something, just use double shift. Okay, then we have refactoring hotkeys. Refactoring is a process of changing your code without changing its behavior. So, for example, if I just rename a variable, it's an example of refactoring because code has the same behavior. It will give you the same result, but well, now it looks some other way. And here I have a double A that is equal to something, doesn't really matter. And then I compare it to 0 and I take either, well, one of math expressions out of it. And so then I just print the result. And here I can see that I have duplicated code. Yeah, on the line 49 and the line 50. And here I can use the hotkey Ctrl-Alt-M to extract a method. You will see some window that will ask you for a name for this methods. I don't know, do calculations. Yeah, and here I have a new method, do calculation, with an extracted code that I selected to extract, and Intellij Idea replaces all the occurrences of this code with a method call. So now my code is better because I don't have a duplicated logic, duplicated code. It's just a call of the method. It's okay. Let's revert it. Then, for example, I don't like this too. It's some constants. Constants are not really good in program. It's better to use them as parameters. So I would like to extract this 2 as a parameter for this method. I press Ctrl-Alt-P, give a name to this argument, parameter, and I have a method argument called parameter, that is used instead of my number 2. And the last hotkey for refactoring is Ctrl-Alt-V. It's for extracting variables. So here I output the result of several math calculations. And I think that this code is not readable. It's better to split it into lines. So I select code that I would like to extract using Ctrl-W, and then I press Ctrl-Alt-V to extract a new variable. Let's call it, I don't know, result. Not the best name for the variable, but I think it's okay. And here I just have double results, and I output it. Okay. Yeah. The next hotkey is Ctrl-B. It can be used to open the declaration of anything. So here I have a default Java class string. Maybe you're not familiar with it right now, but you will. It's super useful class. And I would like to see the source code of this class. To do it, you can press Ctrl-B, and it opens the default Java implementation for this class. You can use it to open the declaration of methods or the declaration of a variable. Okay, this one I guess we'll skip. And here I have a code with misplaced parentheses. And here I have a nested if, and well, it's on the same indent level as the first one. So it's not really good. And to reformat my code, I can use Ctrl-Alt-L hotkey, and it formats my code according to the best practices of Java. It's super useful tool. I understand that it can be too difficult to remember all of these hotkeys when you see them first, but I will send you a PDF file with all the hotkeys that I used today, and you can use them while you're studying. I saw a recommendation to study one new hotkey every week, and with this approach, you can study them pretty quickly. Yeah, you study hotkey and you start using it while you're programming. Okay, do you have any questions? If not, let's go forward. Let's see live templates. So live templates is a way to generate some standard code in your program. So here, for example, I have a task to complete. Maybe it's a task from your first modules, I don't really know. The task is to print hello world string 10 times. So what can I do? I can start typing public static void main. What should be the arguments here? I think string args and so on and so forth. Well, it takes some time. Instead of it, I can use a live template. So it's just an acronym. PSVM it stands for public static void main. You just type 4 letters, press enter, and you have a totally correct main method. Okay, then I would like to generate a cycle from 1 to 10 and output my hello world string. Instead of typing cycle on my own, I can use live template for I. Press enter and it generates a cycle. Let's rename the variable. Let it be not I, but counter. From 0 to 10, and I have to output hello world. To do it, I will use the third live template as out. Press enter and it generates nice system out println, and just copy hello world and place it here. I can run it, and yeah, task is complete. Intellij Idea have a lot of live templates. You can find them using double shift hotkey, live templates. Yeah, you can see here live templates for different languages, Groovy, HTML, Kotlin, etc. We are interested only in Java live templates. Yeah, you see that there are maybe 30 of them. You can see any of them. They're written using some Java-like syntax with special characters. So here there is an and comment. It's probably comment, yeah. You can create your own live templates, but you will have to write a template text in the same format as here. Personally, I have never created my own live templates. I think that Intellij Idea provides us with enough live templates, and well, they save you a few seconds every time you use them. So maybe every day you can save yourself, I don't know, 5 maybe minutes, not writing some code that you can simply generate. Okay, any questions? Or maybe there is a chat. Okay, yeah, I missed one question. Could you duplicate info about hotkeys for Mac? Yeah, that's a good point. I will. Yeah, I will. And I will send you a PDF file with both types of hotkeys. Personally, I don't have Mac and I don't have buttons that Mac has, so I cannot show them to you right now. Okay, let's go further. Probably the last our topic is inspections. When you write your code, Intellij Idea tries to understand what you write, and it gives you a lot of hints about how to write correct code. So maybe these examples are a bit more complicated for you right now, but I hope you will get the general idea. When Intellij Idea thinks that you wrote a code that, let's say, can be improved, it marks it with a yellow background. So here I have 2 strings, and I just would like to compare them using double equal sign. Maybe some of you already know that in Java you should not compare strings using equal sign. You will study strings on the stage 1, but just you can believe me for now. Instead of it, Intellij Idea suggests a correct way to see it. You can use Alt-Enter hotkey, and it suggests you to replace double equal sign with a call of equals method. So it's correct implementation. You place enter, and yeah, it changes your code. Again, why is it the case doesn't really matter, but Intellij Idea helps you to fix the potential bug for your program. Yeah, so there is a type of inspections, possible bugs. One of them is comparison of strings using double equal sign. The second type of inspections is performance inspections. So here I have a string, it's an empty string, and then I would like to add 10 times to it string hello world. So I will have hello world 10 times, and so then I output the result. Oh, I think I can run this example. Yeah, and here I have hello world, etc. And Intellij Idea says here that string concatenation is done in loop, and it's bad from the performance perspective. Maybe you don't know for now why, but you don't really have to. You press Alt-Enter, Intellij Idea suggests you how to fix the code, and convert variable from string to string builder. Okay. You convert it, and then you can see that for cycle is marked with a yellow background again, and it can be replaced with the string repeat. Okay, let's replace. Okay, and now I have S variable marked in yellow. Let's see here, replace string builder with string back. Okay, and here I have one line of code with hello world dot repeat 10, so it will repeat this line of code 10 times. Let's run this code again, and it has the same output. So I had 5 lines of code. After using Intellij Idea suggestions, I have only 1 line of code, and well, I think this line of code will work, I don't know, maybe 10 times faster than my previous code. So it's a good decision to pay attention to what Intellij Idea tries to say to you. And the last example, these are redundant code constructions. So here, if you're familiar with Boolean, yeah, maybe you're not familiar, Boolean is a variable that can have 2 values. It's either true or false. And so here I compare if Boolean equals false, then we return true, so reversed Boolean, and else, so if it's true, we return false. And here Intellij Idea suggests us to replace it with not Boolean. So it's a Java construction to revert Boolean. It has the same behavior as this line of code. And again, we can see that if has yellow background, let's call the menu, simplify if else. Okay, and it's simplified to return not Boolean. This code is much more readable, it's shorter. I think screen video freezes from time to time. Well, I don't think that I can do anything with it right now. I hope I will fix it for the next light talk. Yeah, okay, I will switch off the camera not to waste my internet bandwidth. I hope it will help a bit. Okay, this code probably works faster. Yeah, I'm pretty sure of it. And it's more readable. It's just a better piece of code that Intellij Idea fixed for you. And this is not just some artificial example. I copied it from codes of a good student of our previous school run. So please, when you code, pay attention to what Intellij Idea tries to tell you, and at least call the context menu and see what it proposes you to do. Okay, if you want to see all the inspections available, you can call double shift window, type inspections here, and yeah, here you can see all the inspections for different languages. We're interested in Java only for now. And here, for example, I don't know, imports. You can see that Intellij Idea, if you have an unused import, so you imported some other class and you don't use it, Intellij Idea tells you to remove this import because you don't need it. As you can see, some inspections are disabled by default. I didn't change anything. Some are enabled. I think that defaults are quite reasonable, but if you want, you can enable more inspections, but some of them may be not that useful for you. Okay, that's probably it from the features that I wanted to show you, and I just would like to mention, yeah, I mentioned plugins today. Intellij Idea supports a lot of plugins. In many cases, plugins can make your coding much easier, and let's see just some of most useful plugins that you don't probably need right now, but you may need them later. So for example, if you would like to code in Scala, it's another language, but it's like JVM based, you can install a plugin and use Intellij Idea for it too. If you would like to code in Rust, it's another language too, just install a plugin and use your favorite Intellij Idea. If you would like to use AWS Cloud, it's maybe a bit too advanced for now, but yeah, you can do it too. Just install the plugin. Okay, so please pay attention to plugins. They may help you in some cases. Okay, that's probably it from my side. Yeah, I will send you files with hotkeys for Mac and Windows, and a file with some mentioned Intellij Idea features that I didn't have time to show you today. Do you have any questions? Okay, then that's probably it for today. Thanks for joining. I will share the recording soon in Slack, and see you the next week. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for